Hey, this is Pure, and today I'm going to do a quick review of the Fender Player Stratocaster, which I've got here. I'll go over the features of the guitar, what makes it a Stratocaster, my thoughts on it, the whole buying experience as well when I got this from Perfect Pitch in Glorieta. Now you'll see here that in Sweetwater the list price is $780. Now in the Philippines it's a bit more expensive. On top of the conversion factor from US dollar to Philippine peso, there's a lot of add-on costs. Presumably because of shipping and handling and all of that for it to be available here in the local market. So in the Yupanco Music website, it's listed as for 50,000 pesos. In the JB Music website, just for comparison, it's slightly cheaper. So the special price there is like the cash price, but the card price is around 47K. So it's a few thousand pesos difference between the two sellers, and that might vary depending on whether they've got special discounts or sale in progress. But as it is, roughly, it's around 50K, right? Now, going over the features, we've got two cameras here. So from the headstock, we see there the Fender logo saying Fender Stratocaster. And we've got the short note there. It said original contour body. So famously, the Stratocaster does have some contours, which makes it more comfortable to play. So there's a kind of a notched out or reduction in wood material here, so that it sits better on your body. So I'm assuring that's what being referred to there. All the tuners are on one side, and they do have the Fender logo at the back for the tuners, and we also have there the markings for the serial number, which starts with MX because the Fender Player series is made in Mexico. Okay. Moving down the guitar, we've got a synthetic bone knot. The fingerboard is the Pau Ferro material, so that is kind of the newer standard when it comes to made in Mexico guitars. It's more sustainable as compared to the rosewood material. I like the version I got here where it's a bit darker and more consistent in terms of the shade of the wood. In my other Fender Player Telecaster, it's much lighter, and the grain and the streaks were much more noticeable. So this one I like it. It's dark color. At the back we've got the skunk stripe there. That's kind of the different wood material to fill in the groove here to access the truss rod, right? So that's the Fender design. Instead of under the fingerboard to access the truss rod, they instead did it this way, where it's from behind, and then they plug it up with that other piece of wood, and that's known as your Fender skunk stripe. We've got for the body, the standard Stratocaster design, we've got two notches, and this body is an alder body with a glossy black finish, as you can see here, glossy finish. Famously, the Stratocaster has a different pickup configuration. It has 3 pickups. Now, your more classical Stratocaster would have 3 single coil pickups, but in my case, I decided to go with the HSS version, the humbucker single, because my experience is that when you're using the bridge pickup and you want that grittier tone, you're better off with getting a humbucker in there so that it matches the type of music that you'll be playing when you do use the bridge pickup. And think of it this way, it's like getting an extra pickup, right? So instead of 3 single coils, you've got a humbucker here, which gives you a lot more flexibility. Okay? So we've got the 5-way pickup selector here as your first control. So you can control just this pickup, the middle of the two, just this pickup, this both active, and then only the bridge side active. And the Stratocaster does have a movable bridge, which allows you to have a whammy bar here for changing the pitch of your strings. And the controls we've got are volume, tone. So you can control the volume of your pickups and the tone from the of the neck and bridge pickups. Okay, so let's give some sample sounds here. So I've got this mainly clean. The only thing I've added would be your delay and a reverb. So on the neck side, very sparkly tone. Right, that's what really the Stratocaster is known for. Between 1 and 2 is also very popular. And then just the middle pickup. And again, when you've got, you're more into high gain stuff, you've got your humbuckers in there. Okay? One other advantage of your humbuckers is that it bucks the hum, right? Because the single coils are notorious for that 60 cycle hum that you get, which you can kind of minimize by going in between two single coils. But if you want the higher gain and you don't want the hum, then you always have this option, which I think makes sense because when you're doing high gain stuff, rock stuff, and you want the humbucker, and that's also when you kind of use your whammy bar, it makes sense that you've got the higher gain humbucker in there. Right, when you're doing that kind of stuff. Right, so the tone that you get with the humbucker goes along with the use that you've got for that type of music. Okay, what else can I say here? So at the back, we do have the plate there, which covers the 3 springs that you've got for the tremolo bar, and your Fender metal plate with the stamped F is what you'd see in the back. It does feature kind of the newer design in the bridge, where you've got the 2-point bridge, which supposedly, makes it better because there's less friction point, right? As compared to, was it a 5-point bridge that was in there before? But now in this particular model, you've got 2 points there. For the saddles, they do have the Fender stamp in there. So I'm always mentioning all the Fender stuff because that's a big part of what you're paying for. So Fender here, Fender at the metal plate, Fender here at the bridge. That all contributes to the value of the guitar. Whoops, I bumped my other guitar again. So you've got that flexibility, and that's one of the main advantages of a Stratocaster, with much more pickup combinations, especially for this type where it's an HSS. You can dial in your sound a lot better because you're not limited to just single coils. You've got both single coils and humbuckers, plus you've got multiple locations in terms of what type of sound it's picking up. One thing that has always bothered me with a Stratocaster, and that's why this is kind of the last one I bought, is the placement of the volume knob. Now, if you're used to always playing on this side and picking here, which I did a lot because Les Paul was my first guitar. You'll hit this volume all the time, and it's quite easy for the volume to change. Uh, there's very little resistance there. So while playing, you do want to always kind of take a look whether you've moved the volume knob. But I guess it's just a matter of getting used to. Once you're aware and get used to, avoiding hitting that, even this pickup selector, when I'm strumming, I tend to hit this a lot because it's much closer compared to, say, your Telecaster design or even your Les Paul where the switch is over here. But again, it's you'll get used to it. So what else can I say here? The one thing I'll say about the store, Perfect Pitch, they do have a lot of branches. So they have this branding of Perfect Pitch and Yupanco Music as well. They have their main branch in Makati. They offer better terms, longer terms when it comes to installment payment. But as you can see, comparing the price between the Yupanco and JB Music, they are a few thousand pesos higher. So, consider that as well. In terms of the stock, I find, well, at least when I last looked, it seems that I've got more choices in JB Music. But again, that varies branch per branch. That was just my experience for this instance when I looked at this guitar. Um, what else can I say here? The people at the store were definitely very helpful. They were very kind. They allowed me to test it all I want. And before taking it home, I also had the string changed and a bit of setup just to make sure that it was, it sounded nice. The action as it is, as I got it from the store, it's close to where I want it to be. I can always fine tune it myself in terms of lowering the action if needed. The fit and finish, fretwork, it's, I would say, commensurate to what you would expect at this price range. Now, it could have been better, I think, because comparing it to the Squier Classic Vibe series, which they also, would sell, aside from the brand name there of Fender versus Squier, the Squier Classic Vibe is just such fantastic value in terms of the workmanship and the what you get in terms of the features, the hardware, and how it sounds. Squier Classic Vibe is just fantastic. I might end up getting one as well in the future, but for now, I started with kind of your, the required ones, right? The main ones. I've got my Fender Stratocaster here. I also have my Tele here, which I did a separate review on. Okay, so that's my review of the Fender Player Stratocaster. This is a made in Mexico guitar, roughly $800. But here in the Philippines, it can get as high as $1,000 because of it's a different market. Okay, so I think that's all I have to say about the Fender Player Stratocaster. Thanks for watching.